listen to statements.
Sovereignty and the Minister of the Popular Power for Defense, Bachelor, and the Ombudsman Office, and General and Commander-in-Chief Antonio Lares, Strategic Commander of the Bolivarian Armed Forces, Dr. Carlos Quintero, Vice President of the National Electoral Council, senior officials of the Bolivarian Armed Forces, senior officials of all military present, all people present, generals of the CIOFAN, compatriots, journalists, and special guests. Today is a very important day for our Venezuelan homeland. Always we place the times of our history without forgetting what implies the geopolitics, the historical context, the importance of our country within the framework of international relations, and obviously what it implies, its impact, and the advance of the civic participatory protagonist process of the revolution that initiated Commander Hugo Chavez. And I ask a big applause to Hugo Chavez, who was the one who promoted this stage of Venezuela, which Venezuela feels honored on this civic military police union, and so that it has continued in a very sensible and brilliant way by the president of the state, Nicolás Maduro Moros, a time which has been very harsh for all national institutions amid harassment, menaces, permanent menaces, over 1,000 cohesive measures searching that Venezuela changes the course of progress, of patriotic consensus in defense of our sovereignty, in defense of our Bolivarian ideals, in defense of our nationalism, in defense of our anti-imperialism. And so they have not achieved to advance that enemy so brutal that we can see clearly its real identity by watching what they have been doing in the innocent people of Gaza, which has been exterminated at such a high level that today, byproduct of bombings, of extermination of the medical population, of even the medical professionals, of bombing medical facilities. So it is estimated that 15,000 children will die in Gaza, result of the massacre that occurred there. And so they said that there is not going to need to launch more bombs, because they have already ended with hospitals, with physicians, with nurses. And so there we can see the real face of the enemy that have been faced by Venezuela. Only in that place of the Middle East, what they wanted to do at Lebanon, Yemen, Syria, and so there have been arising the outreach of the international community, and so Venezuela has been victorious ahead of all these conspiracies of all these coup d'etats, attempts of coup d'etats and assassination attempts that all implied the essays, the rehearsals of the hybrid war and the consequences in which the issue of social media, the cognitive war, the use of violence, the use of which is atypical and immoral of the social media to transform the good in bad and the bad in good. All of it has been rehearsed in Venezuela as in any country in the world, and so we could say today, afterwards, after having defeated them in a clear way, previous July 28th and after July 28th, when during that stage, trust me, I have really studied it thoroughly, so they have made the efforts of years. What they have done in 20 years, the evil to overthrow a constitutional government, and they prepared previously to 28 after and during. And so where we are, who is victorious? The people of Venezuela, the heroic people of Venezuela, showed that they could not pursue that plan of bloodshed of our country using the alibi of the elections, using the alibi of going to the polls, being in the elections, campaigning, that they will say that there was electoral fraud. And so why do they submit to these elections? And so this opposition leader, who has been used in the worst style and who has been just get rid of by the enemy and so his things and the things that he represents stink. And the unnamed one, the Corina Machado, is worst. And so each of the fans of them, you don't know if they are possessed by demons or by artificial intelligence to just transmit violence, hate and crime. Meanwhile, see what happened, the re-election of President Nicolás Maduro on July 28th, and now almost a year passed by, and so we could say that in May, next Sunday, there's gonna be elected, abided by constitution and law, governors, lawmakers to the Legislative Council, parliamentarians to the National Assembly, to renew the public powers of this country in function to give a higher scope to our democracy, to the participation, to advance in function of what implies a climate of coexistence of political stability, which hurts so much the enemies of the homeland. They would want to have a bloodshed since July 2024 till January 2025, and so here we are. We stand by, we are firm, and so led by the President of the Republic, building up the global diplomacy with actors that are fundamental for global peace and rebuilding our economy, our sovereignty, to reach the best progress of our people. So the prosecutor's office contribute to it by making justice, defending human rights, peace, And so for this deployment, Citizen Commander-in-Chief Vladimir Padrino Lopez, we have at your service all our resources to you. So this deployment with 24 attorney generals with their regional halls, 15 national attorneys, general attorneys, and 864 regional attorney generals for a total of over 1,000 officials to guarantee the good march of this strategic election at the National Assembly and governors that will advance within our participatory, protagonist, constitutional and revolutionary democracy. So count on us, compatriots of the Bolivarian forces and police powers, and we will continue defeating. We will continue to triumph. We will continue to triumph, and that have made the whole world to look at these heroic people of Simón Bolívar. Thank you very much.